Hello, everyone. Welcome to this Motion Conversation. This is a moment that Pastor Tyler and I just wanted to take to discuss with you what is motion, how it will benefit you, and when it is and how you can get registered. So, Pastor Tyler, starting this conversation, maybe the question to answer is, what is motion?
Well, motion started several years ago out of just kind of a dream and a vision and a need that we felt that here locally we needed a resource we could turn to. We needed a place we could go, a place we could take our team to not just inspire us, but to equip us. And so, it started small. It started as a tech conference that we just had a few people gathered in a room, and it has grown to include systems and processes for every area that's involved in growing a church. And so, we've tried a lot of stuff that's worked. We've tried some stuff that hasn't worked. And we've just been thrilled with the results of it and with the community that we've built around the conference that goes far beyond just the moment of the conference. And so for any church leader, any pastor, any team member that's just looking for a place to go and get some fresh ideas and great resources to take home and implement, Motion is that stop on the calendar year for you.
I think you hit all the points I would make about this. And to me, what I see in Motion is, so how many churches do you think? Maybe 800, 900,000 churches have come through this conference?
Yeah, I would say so. And in the past nearly a decade of doing this, I think we're probably up close to 800 or 900 churches represented with pastors and teams.
And we're saying the pastor and the key leadership team, they're together through this whole conference. And in a way, it's a conference like no other. It's not a preaching conference. You will get inspiration, but you will probably leave with more perspiration, and you leave motivated. And plus, it's the dialogues, and I think that's what I enjoy about Motion so much, is when you look out over this campus and you see pastors and the key leaders of their church sitting there eating Chick-fil-A as the cow walks around worshiping, but they're discussing what they just heard. Will this work in our church? How could we make this work? Or do we do something better? And you hear those conversations, you know they're going to leave ready to implement change.
Absolutely. And one of my, if I'm being honest, chief frustrations with a lot of conferences that I've been to over the years is you go in and you see cool stuff happening, you see great ideas and systems that people have implemented, and you walk away frustrated because I don't know. You showed me something great, but you didn't tell me how to do it. And so we've tried to focus here on building systems that are easily explainable and can be replicated at a church of any size. And so being able to step back and watch that implemented at churches all over the U.S. and all over North America and really all over the world, it's been really inspiring to see all of the different ideas and approaches that people with their unique context bring with their unique team. And I will tell you that we locally here, our team, we've gotten just as many ideas from the people who attend Motion as we've ever been able to share with those people from us. So it's blessed us just as much as it blesses them.
Well, one of the sessions you used to do, and I don't think you did it this last year, but you have a barrel. I see the barrel around the church every now and then. and you discuss the importance of key areas in the church all being at the same level. Explain that barrel analogy.
Well, so the concept is if you take a barrel that's made up of slats of different heights, if you were to take a barrel and cut each slat to a different spot, the capacity of the barrel is limited by whatever the lowest slat is. You can only put that much water in the barrel. And we liken all the ministries of the church in any local church to a slat in a barrel. Some of them are very strong and very tall. Some of them are a little weaker and a little lower. Our capacity is limited by whatever it is that's the weakest. And so what we try to do here at Motion is help people identify what is the thing that we need to go home and work on. And I know there's a lot of specific stories and a lot of specific examples some wins of going home and implementing some of these things. Can you think of any stories either here locally that we've implemented change, or maybe a pastor from another church that has taken some ideas from Motion and taken it home and implemented it and has some success stories and testimonies to tell from that?
That's a good question. Each year, and it's one of the joys of the year, is as people are coming into Motion, we ask them, tell us about the last year. Tell us what you took away last year and you implemented. And it's a great testimony service, and we encourage them to share them with all the groups that they visit with. Periodically, we'll lift out a few, but it's not uncommon for one of the churches that attends Motion, if they come with some key people, that they can go back and start implementing changes, and they make all of this their own. We provide all the resources, encourage them to put their own church logo on it. It's not ours, it's theirs. And our saying is, we want you to take it, make it better so we can steal it back from you. That's our saying. And
we do that.
And we do that. But what happens is we hear testimony after testimony. I heard one the other day. Some of our coaches that help implement these things in local churches, one of the coaches is working with 9 churches right now, and I don't think he would mind me calling his names, Brother Lonnie Wiedner. Lonnie Wiedner brought his church over here several years ago, and he will tell you this day that Motion transformed the church, his ministry, and the involvement of the people in the community. And he said that already 5 of the churches that he's working with, just started a few months ago, have implemented small groups, and they're already seeing rapid growth through the mechanisms, and they're coming to Motion this year.
It's outstanding. I heard a story just last week of a church that a new pastor took over, brought his team right at the outset of that new pastorate, and went home. It was a church of, around 20 people that he was taking over. And same story, they implemented small groups. We talk a lot about small groups. And they implemented it, and now after about 3 years, that church of 20 is now a church of 120. And they point directly to the inspiration and the fearless approach, just going home and trying something and just seeing if maybe it'll work here. And they find out that it does. And I've been so energized by hearing that and hearing these stories. And there's story after story of churches that are small. There are church plants. There's established legacy churches that may have 75 years of history. And when you come into this place and you realize that you're with your people, you're with a group of people that get it, they understand what it is you're trying to accomplish, and you realize you're not on an island, you're not alone, and it just gives you the fearless approach and the resources and the faith to go home and try it. And I think it speaks for itself. And it's not about how great we are. I mean, we're always very open when we talk here that, a lot of what we do here is telling people what didn't work. So we can warn you to not go home and do it that way. But I don't know. It's become this really inspiring community to be a part of, where you're constantly sharing wins and losses. And that's one of my favorite things about it, is just that sense of community and connectedness that's come out of it for us and our team and for all the churches who attend.
So I think, Pastor Tyler, what I've noticed is I have noticed that usually this is the way it goes. Pastor, maybe a pastoral couple, will show up here to sort of scope it out, to spy out the land. Inevitably, 90% of them will leave here disappointed that they didn't bring more people. Mm-hmm. And then they're going to be frustrated for a year because they're going to try to transpose and transfer something into people who had to be here to experience it. I mean, we do this online, but the reality is to be in the room, to rub shoulders with people, and to have some of the people that are heavily involved in ministry in your local church with you is transformative.
Absolutely. And I'll tag into that. And this is a conversation we have every year, and it's a conversation that I have with some pastor every single year. Pastors, let me talk to you for a second. If you send your team and you don't come, I'm warning you in advance. They're going to come home. They're going to be energized. They're going to have fresh ideas. They're going to be speaking a language that you don't have any idea what they're talking about. So pastors, if I can make one appeal to you right now, it would be to please come with your team. Don't send a team and get them fired up, and then they come home and you're what are you guys talking about? I don't know what this means. I don't know what these words are. Come with them and enjoy the beauty of getting inspired, getting the flame of passion relit within the entire team. The conversations, the late night just dream sessions that you have with your team in a hotel lobby or whatever. That there is no price tag that I could place on that. There is nothing I could tell you that would prepare you for the impact that being with your team in a place of vision and a place of community and a place of fresh ideas and a place that's going to re-energize you. There's no way to tell you the difference that'll make when you go home and get back to work. None at all.
And I would say my feeling is this sounds like a lot of work, but the reality is there is a huge simplification process that takes place at Motion. We try to point you to the 4 main objectives that if you do these things well, your church will get healthy, your church will grow. So it's not an add-on. It is a parallel at first, 100%. And then it takes the entire place. Small groups is, of course, a big feature of what we do. Our dream team, recruiting volunteers, training volunteers, finding their areas of ministry. First steps is how we initiate people into this church. And this is, so people will leave here with the practical knowledge, skills, understanding, and materials to overlay these things in their church.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I'm really proud of our church for doing this, we made a decision years ago when we started this, that we weren't trying to sell you something. We're not trying to get you to look to us as the ultimate source. There's a lot of stuff we don't know. We try to be really honest with that. But what the pledge we do make to you as an attendee with your team is that if we've got it, it's yours. We want to give you all of our processes. We want to give you every resource that we can give you so that you can take it home and take the guesswork out of it and be able to as you alluded to earlier, recraft that, tweak this, adjust that, and make it your own, but also know that that's not something that we're trying to sell you on. It's just something that we say, you know what, because you came, because you trusted us with your team, because you trusted us to be a voice into the future of your church, we just want to load you up with enough resources to go home and not make this an exercise in frustration and futility. And that's something I'm really proud of that our team is totally bought into. You're going to find people that are not just trying to get you to listen to them on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of a conference, but they're available via phone call and text message throughout the year to give you feedback, to answer your questions. And I'm really thankful that our local team here has bought into the vision of that. And we get to see some pretty cool stuff happen because of that culture that's been created.
Very good. Very good. You mentioned one group of people, the team that comes without the pastor. I mentioned the pastor that comes without the team. But let me tell you the largest group that we hear from every year that are very frustrated. And it's the people who forgot to register, forgot to put it on their calendar, and at the last minute are scurrying and scrambling, trying to get space here and trying to get a few key people in the church. This requires just a little forethought. And so give us the dates and particulars of what can a person do right now to prepare for this and get into this meeting.
So what you need to do right now is take out your phone and put the date of March the 1st on your calendar. That's when our registration is going live. Now, the dates of Motion are October 17, 18, 19. Again, that's mentioned earlier. That's a Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So I would just say get it on your calendar so that you don't do what we always all do, which is we get 6 weeks down the road and we go, oh, you know what? Is motion happening this year? Yes, motion is happening, and registration goes live on March the 1st. So put it on your calendar and get ready to register, get ready to bring your team. It's going to be an absolutely life-changing event. Now, one thing I will say about registration this year, you know, we acknowledged at the conference last year that with the increase in airfares, with the increase in hotel rates, with inflation going crazy everywhere, we acknowledged that it was costing more to attend than it did in previous years. And so something that we've done this year is we have actually reduced the price of individual and team motion registrations to try to offset some of those expenses for you, to be aware of the times we're in and be aware of the fact that inflation is real for everybody and we all feel the impacts of it. So we're trying to make it as accessible as we can for as many people as we can.
Very good. And I would just close this by saying we want you here. And we believe that once you step into this room and you see there will be a couple of hundred other church teams here with you, that we're all trying to do the same thing. We want to bring glory to God by reaching this world, transforming our world, making disciples, getting people involved in the harvest, and create an environment that is safe and pleasing to God. I believe we are there, and you can be a part of this. Come to Motion. We look forward to seeing you.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see you.